So tonight we thought we'd give you a little bit of the future, a little taste of things to come within the next couple of years. This will happen, barring a miracle.
Now, remember what I mentioned before. This video was created 5 years ago. I repeat, 5 years ago. So the future these people are predicting is now. So let's listen carefully and see if any of these predictions have come true.
America as we once knew it will be in ruins, gone, and not only your right to travel and your right to be secure in your person and possessions, but the rights of gun ownership will be among the first scheduled for destruction.
For example, you walk into a gun store, fill out a 4473, but instead of looking at your license and taking down some information, the clerk runs your National Real ID card with its radio frequency ID chip through a scanner.
Complete information on every firearm you buy will be instantly available to every police officer, government employee, Walmart gun counter clerk, or computer hacker you ever encounter. And you will be an instant criminal suspect every time you deal with someone who has access to the database.
Well, additionally, the private gun purchase loophole will be closed. And if you're caught with an unregistered gun, well, then the Department of Homeland Security will cut off your driving privilege as well as your right to escape via airplane or highway.
You could be a prisoner in your home in your own country, or you could be forced to function as an outlaw, operating and living a precarious existence beneath the government radar. You're probably saying to yourself, these projections are ridiculous. They could never happen.
Well, I don't know. This video was only created 5 years ago. Have any of these predictions come close to coming true?
But frankly, if the Real ID Act doesn't make you paranoid, you're not paying enough attention or you're not doing your own homework.
Or I know better than to listen to tin hat wearing conspiracy theorists who probably film their show in their own basements.
Or worse, you're a Fox News couch potato.
You people have some nerve. You spew nothing but paranoia bullshit and then you take jabs at Fox News? I know this video was created back when Fox News was in bed with the George Bush regime, but if this video was created today, you could easily mistake it for Fox News. I mean, just replace George Bush with Obama and omit the 9/11 truther nonsense, and this could easily pass for a Fox News program.
Well, but think of the movie Escape from New York. Remember, in the 1930s, Congress promised us that our Social Security numbers would never, absolutely never be used for identification or displayed on any document. Now they're the key to everything about us. And without a Social Security number, you won't get your national ID, barometric RFID card, and you won't be allowed to drive, or as the government refers to it, participate as a citizen.
I'll give them this much credit. Social Security is bullshit.
And don't forget that historical congressional announcement back in 1913. Congress and the media swore to us that the brand new income tax would only affect the super rich. And you have to wonder how rich you feel after giving away 40% of your income in taxes.
So be forewarned and be prepared. Beginning in the next year, everybody will be required to show their papers to board an airplane, take a train, a bus, rent a car, enter a public building, a federal building, or even walk into a bank.
I ask one last time, how is this different from what we have now?
When all this happens, remember our program tonight. Make copies of it. Send them to everyone you care about.
Because when they look back at this 5 years in the future, they'll get a great laugh out of it.
Unless each of one of us stands up and does something about this, folks, we could be living in a country reminiscent of Nazi Germany or Soviet Russia. And we thought this was the land of the free.
Remember I said this could easily be mistaken for a Fox News program? Well, guess which program this show reminds me of. If you thought Glenn Beck, you thought right. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this show was the inspiration for Glenn Beck. I take that back. This is the inspiration for Glenn Beck's show. I am certain that Glenn Beck used to watch this show and take notes on how to spew batshit insanity like this.
Really, folks, when you get some time, spend an evening or two or a week with your own family, do your own homework. This stuff is real and it's really happening. And it won't change unless you decide you've had enough, that you're mad as hell, and that we're all not going to take it anymore.
Seriously, tell me this is not something Glenn Beck would say.
A highly classified memo leaked during the recent British electoral campaign raises serious questions about whether or not the U.S. government ever believed that there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq.
So, how the fuck did you get a copy of it? I call shenanigans.
The memo, smuggled out of the UK's James Bond like MI6, discusses the July 2002 meeting between Tony Blair in which British MI6 chief Richard Dearlove reported on his recent visit to Washington.
The memo stated, "This record is extremely sensitive. No further copies should be made. It should be shown only to those with a genuine need to know its contents. Regarding the danger of Iraq, the case was thin. Saddam was not threatening his neighbors or the U.S., and his weapons of mass destruction capability were virtually non-existent."
The guy was still a tyrant who committed genocide on his own people.
The memo makes it obvious that subsequent statements about there being weapons of mass destruction in Iraq were known to be untrue by Bush and Blair. In other words, the U.S. and the U.K. government was in the process of devising facts long before attacking Iraq to fit policy rather than carrying out policy as a result of facts.
Representative John Conyers of the House Judiciary Committee has circulated a letter asking President Bush for an explanation, but in his fashion, the administration has stated that it will not comment on the memo.
What else is new?
After I watched this video, I did some research on the program. According to Wikipedia, the show is not only infamous for broadcasting conspiracy theories, but also news about the paranormal and extraterrestrial. Seems like a good combination, don't you think? So I really want to hear feedback in the comments section. Which is more batshit insane, Fox News or this show? Until then, this is Revenge of the Fallen signing off.